For Lafayette Township Board of Trustees and Fire District, February 6th of 2023. It is 7:00 p.m. The notice requires of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and implementing rules adopted by the board pursuant thereto were complied with for this meeting. Can we all stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Who's here?
Morcola here.
O'Neill here.
Fullerton here. Right. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Law Director Bill Thorne and Fiscal Officer Laura Rubensall. First point of business is meeting minutes for the December 21st and January 2nd. Has everyone had time to read them?
Yes.
Any questions,
I don't have any.
concerns? Motion to approve?
I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes for December 21st of 2022 and January 2nd of 2023.
Second? Second?
I'll second. I thought you were second.
Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Consent agenda. Everyone got the reports from department heads?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions or concerns with any of those? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda reports?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed on the agenda for fiscal, fire district, police, service, and zoning.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Consent agenda approved. Fiscal report. Laura, anything that stands out that you want to talk about?
Just permanent appropriations, should get those moving.
Okay. If you couldn't hear Laura, she said permanent appropriation, and we're going to do those, but I have one other item that came to fiscal for our Ohio Edison bills. We need to do a renewal for the company that we pay through the aggregate. Now, the one we chose last year was the NG Resource, and their prices went up. They put us on a variable, so it went up to, I think, 12 cents per kilowatt, and they were recommending that we look at Hudson Energy at 7 cents a kilowatt hour, and then they would lock it in for 48 months at a fixed rate. Any discussion on that?
Is there any, if we decide we do want to back out, is there any way to do that, or are we just deadlocked for 48 months?
That's a good question. I did not see that in that.
Normally there is like a 30 or 60 day, but not always.
Well, it doesn't say, so we can research
I
that.
mean, it's 7 cents, that's still pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than the variable rate that we're in right now.
Is there a deadline on that?
We need to get it in pretty quickly because we're on the variable right now. Unless you want to table it till March?
Has Bill reviewed the, is there anything new in the contract
Mm-mm.
language? Okay.
Nope. Nope.
Chris, your thoughts?
7 cents is cheaper, but without knowing if we can get it better if prices do go down.
Oh, well, that's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
well, that's the best one that they've came up with was Hudson at 7 cents. There are other ones that are higher, and Hudson's locking in at 48 and fixed.
Right. And that was cheaper for sure than
Oh.
the previous one, I
Yeah,
remember.
oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I would motion to accept that. The 7.
7 cents from Hudson Energy.
Yes.
Second?
Yeah, I'll second it. Even if we are locked in for 48 months, 7 cents is still pretty cheap. But looking back over last couple of years' worth of electric bills, that 7 cents is still pretty cheap. My electric bills, anyway.
Yeah, I would agree. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll switch to Hudson Energy for our Ohio Edison bills. Okay, now Laura brought up,
7565 Chippewa Road, 7565 Chippewa Road, officers en route for a possible 76-year-old male fall victim.
sorry about that. Laura did bring up permanent appropriations, so we'll start discussions here in just a second. And we're gonna do the township side first, then we'll do the fire side. The certificate that we got from the county is, the last one that was printed was September. They're coming out with a new one in February 17th. But Laura would like to get this done, and then once the next certificate comes in, if it's substantially different, we can amend this, or if it's not much, then we won't have to. So using the certificate from the county from the 17th, or I'm sorry, from September, we can go ahead and get started. Let's see. I thought we could just do line item all the way down and then kind of come to a general consensus on each line, and then we can approve it at the end.
Okay.
You all right with that?
Laura, do you have estimations that you have proposed numbers or not?
Okay. The first one I put down, it's not on the county, but it's our ARPA funds, which Laura has down that we have $317,270 in that fund. Later in the meeting, we'll start talking about what different projects we want to use for ARPA money. So I'll start with the general fund. I set it, the fund total at $375,000, going off of the county's certificate plus our last year. I was comfortable with $375,000 for the total.
Do we have our total spends?
Not on me. No, just, it would be on the appropriation status, what we told you. Yeah, I used my math with that too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Any discussion on 375,000?
In general, as you went down here,
Mhm.
are these, can you just kind of generally say same, higher, lower?
They're all a little bit higher, but not
Okay.
by a whole bunch.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Which would make sense, everything's going up, okay.
Yep, yep. Then I set salaries off of that general at 165, and then the expenses is the subtraction at 210,000 for the general fund.
Okay.
2011 is the motor vehicle license tax. I put that one at 13,000 for the fund total. And if you guys want to speak up anytime, just interrupt me. I'll
So
just
far,
keep,
mine are
I'll just
pretty
keep going.
close.
Yours, okay, good. 2021 is gasoline tax. I put that one at 135,000. The next one's road and bridge, which is a big one. I put it at 900,000. We do have some bigger projects this year coming up, as you'll learn about in the meeting, for road projects that didn't go last year that we can do this year. So, and then I put the salaries at 255,000, which is slightly up from last year's. Fund 2041 is cemetery. I put that at 2,500. We had appropriated 2,000 last year, and I think we spent a little over 1,000. I saw on the agenda that you were wanting to talk about a columbarium, so.
That could
But
be
ARPA money,
ARPA money,
or there is money in the cemetery fund, but wasn't sure where you wanted to go with that, so. 2081 is the police, that's the levy. The county didn't have that on theirs, obviously, because they did theirs in September. So I just put it at 400,000, expenses are 400,000, because that's what the contract is.
Great.
That's what, that was 2081, you said?
2081.
They've got 409,000 in there.
Right.
Okay.
Well, right, but nothing coming in.
Right.
It'll show on the February one. 2082 is the policing services. That's, I put that at 122,460. That's what it should be. 2191 is the fire and rescue combination levy fund that is just about empty. That was the fund that we paid Not Corp out of last year. There's $1,300 extra dollars in there until we can call that fund zero. Bill, can we use that for salaries? To get rid of the 1,300?
I don't know right off the top of my head.
Well, we'll figure that out. 2231. Permissive motor vehicle license tax. I put that one at 146,000. And these are all pretty conservative numbers. There are some big numbers in there, but they're conservative in my viewpoint. Any discussions on any of those numbers? You want to change anything?
You and Laura kind of bumped heads on them? Okay.
Notice the bruise?
I see, yes.
Chris, you got anything?
I don't.
All right. Motion to approve permanent appropriations for the township with the numbers that I just gave.
I will motion to approve.
I'll second that with the understanding that if, when we get the new numbers on February 17th or thereabouts, we may have to make changes at that
Yeah,
point.
so our March 6th, we
Yeah.
might have to amend.
Right.
Mhm. All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Into resolution, sorry, I have that somewhere. 7. Resolution number 7, 2023, permanent appropriations. And that's the township side. Now, the fire side,
Before
yeah,
we
go
go on,
ahead.
just to make our meeting minutes a little bit easier to do, rather than spelling all that out, all the verbiage, I would recommend that we don't, and then just include a copy of the resolution that's gonna have that all spelled out cleanly.
That would be perfect.
Bill, do you see any reason not to do that? Okay.
Have everybody reviewed it and is satisfied?
Keeps our meeting minutes down from 47 pages to only 35.
Exactly. All right, fire district, same thing with the county certificate. So going over the appropriation status that Laura had given us for year end and using the certificate of the county from September. Fund 2011, which is the fire district fund. And I'll take suggestions on this. I put it at $1 million. Last year, we appropriated 1.2 and didn't use, but I think it was 65%. Salaries coming out of that at $475,000. The Marks Grant 2193 is done. We don't have that. And then 3102 is the bond.
It should be 3101. Just want to make sure I got it straight.
Yeah, 3101, I'm sorry, I wrote 2. 3101, I put at 575,000.
I'm not too far off. I basically took the total from the county and multiplied it by last year on the bid side.
All right, so are you okay with 1,575,000? They're two funds?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess I didn't say the total, yeah, we'll finish this one up. So the total, for the fire, that I have for fund total is 1,575,000. So let's approve that. Any more discussion on that?
Not for me.
All right, motion to approve that.
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Resolution, actually 7, on the fire district side, 7-2023. To put on those resolutions, though, we do need to put the fund totals from the county. The township total is $2,511,972, and the fire district is $2,172.20, or $2,172,025, just for the record. Okay. Hopefully that helps Laura out. Thanks, Lauren.
You good? Is that what you needed? Awesome.
Okay, now, that's all she had on her fiscal report. Service, Rick, you got anything that you want to talk about?
The only thing you guys really don't have on the agenda is the furnace for down in Athens.
Yeah, that information was coming in late, so I didn't want to add it to this agenda. We'll talk about it in March, but yeah, that furnace obviously needs to be replaced, but we can discuss it March 6th. Sherry, where are you at? Can you put that on the agenda for March 6th? Thank you. Police, Lieutenant?
I included with the January report also the yearly report, 2022, which had over 5,000 incidents for the year. In January of this year, we had 380 total incidents. A couple of incidents of note. January 25th at about 4:45 a.m., we had a road rage incident near the intersection of Columbia Road and Smith Road. A gun was discharged at another car. The suspect fled the scene and ultimately was located in a motel room in the city of Medina. The suspect was arrested during a search warrant. We were able to recover the gun. We obviously found him and several types of drugs: heroin, fentanyl, LSD, cocaine, and meth, and he was subsequently indicted on 8 separate charges. January 26th, we responded to Heather Edge to assist the fire department, and it ended up being a fentanyl overdose death. Other than that, we would like to swear in our newest officer, Seth Gagne. Seth comes to us with 4 years of experience in the Monroe, Michigan Police Department. He recently graduated from the Ohio Police Academy. He's also a certified firefighter and EMT, and the only bad thing we could find in his background is that he is a Michigan fan.
Whoa.
Well, that kind of sealed that deal.
Whoa. And they're both here.
We'll make it easy. I'll read when you have the same thing to read off of.
Okay.
Raise your right hand, please. I,
I,
repeat your name,
Seth Gagne,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the resolutions of Lafayette Township.
and the resolutions of Lafayette Township.
I will faithfully discharge the duties of a police officer
I will faithfully discharge the duties of a police officer
for Lafayette Township,
for Lafayette Township,
to which I have been appointed according to law and to the best of my ability.
to which I have been appointed according to law and to the best of my ability,
consistent with its contract with the City of Medina Police Department.
consistent with its contract with the City of Medina Police Department.
Congratulations, welcome on board.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Feel that?
Yeah, I feel that. Thank you.
Sign that one. You can take one of it with you.
Congratulations, Seth.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
I skipped over fire, not intentionally, sorry, Captain.
It's okay. For the month of January, we had a total of 64 incidents. We had 4 in Gloria Glens, 5 in Chatham Township, 45 in Lafayette Township, 1 in the city of Medina, 8 in Chippewa Lake, and believe it or not, we were called up to Granger to assist. We were canceled on that one, so. Our average turnout time for the month of January, meaning the time we were dispatched to the time we got on the road, was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Our average travel time, meaning the time we went en route to the time we were on scene, was 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Training for the month of January, on the 18th, we reviewed electric vehicle fires. On the 25th, we had med control. Medina Hospital came out, we went over EMS protocol updates and field termination. Other than that, some random updates. We applied for the fire department, individual fire department equipment grant through the Ohio Department of Commerce or State Fire Marshal's office. So hopefully if we get that, we'll get some, we wrote it for supply lines, so we're in need of some new hose. So hopefully if we get that, we'll be able to use the funds for that. We worked closely with Chippewa Lake, Chippewa Lions Club. We had the polar plunge this past Saturday. It went off without a hitch. We had a bunch of jumpers. It was a really good time. Thank you to Westfield Township for assisting with that. And we also had Seville Guilford brought their heated trailer down, which was nice.
Did you jump this year, Mike?
I did not. No. I have not jumped, and I will not. Other than that, I know we've been getting a lot of inquiries about the Township Firemen's Association breakfast. We have moved that to April, so it'll be every Sunday in April, with the exception of Easter Sunday. And then aside from that, 1011, that engine back there that we've been talking about, we did call the Career Center. We talked to the program director up there. He offered us up to $2,500 for it. I talked to a couple people, and I actually called him back, and I didn't know that they actually did this, but apparently what they can do is they can trade us some educational credit for it. So if we needed to send like 1 or 2 of our guys to EMT school, they'll give it to us for free or whatever. We just have to negotiate that out. So the program director up there right now is getting ready to make up a proposal, and as soon as we get that, then we'll be able to bring it back to you guys and discuss that further.
Fantastic.
Bill, are you kind of involved in that one as well?
No, have not.
All right. Just make sure that we're keeping everything to oil.
Sure.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I'm asking for in this meeting is we've got about 9 sets of expired turnout gear that we need to get rid of, and we were also planning on, or hoping to be able to donate to that to the Career Center as well, because it has no value to us.
Okay.
If you guys need to vote on that or not.
But you would need to determine its value is less than 2,500, and then you can authorize them to give it to them, so that's fine.
You said there's no value on it though, right?
No, it's expired.
expired.
You can't use
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
So we can't.
Well, that's an easy one.
Yeah. I would motion to donate it.
That's-
First of all, you didn't motion, the value was less.
The value is less than $2,500, obviously, so.
I would second the motion since it's less than 2,500.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign, all right.
And then once we find out from Bill about the truck, we do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Hey Sherry, can you put engine 101-1 on for March 6th? The captain should have that figured out by then. Actually, I had one question. On the training, this may sound like a dumb question, but putting a fire out in an electric car, is it much different than,
Very different.
is it, can you explain a
Requires a
little bit?
lot more water, and what they're actually doing in some areas is because there's such high voltage on these vehicles, they're actually having to submerge them in water for so long. So it's taking a lot more water, a lot more It is very hard, yeah. It's a little bit of a different beast though from what we're used to, but it's.
So nothing other
obviously-
than water, but I mean, it's just a
Water.
ton of it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Zoning, Alice?
Yes, just to recap for the end of 2022, the fees collected were $70,896.17, and the estimated value to the township is $31,224,630.70. Versus 21, the fees were 21,000 and change, and the value was 11 million. January, we're off to a slow start here in January of 23. Last year, we had Redwood, which brought in a ton of money in January. But the fees collected in January is $4,179.22. And the estimated value to the township is $1,974,345.68.
So you're gonna forego your salary since you're really not keeping up with where you were last year, is that?
Actually, I was looking for a raise because I did so well last year, 300% better.
True story, Alice. Nice. Nice. Not sure where this fits
I
in.
got, I
Oh,
got a
I'm
couple
sorry,
more
go ahead,
things on
Chris.
zoning. Excuse me. First, Mr. Burmeister, I realize I never got back to you on an email you sent me regarding the Dollar General property. I apologize, that's on me.
Yeah, it's not the first time.
Okay, leave it at that. Also, I would like to make a motion to reappoint Joe Praisler for a zoning commission alternate seat for 2023. He did a great job this past year and is interested in sticking around, so.
I'd second the motion.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thanks,
You
Joe.
did agree, right,
Welcome
Joe?
back.
Do I have to turn in the birth certificate of my oldest male child and go to Ransom?
And you really wanted him back on the board, right?
Well, he brings
Well,
the
yes, because
snacks.
his wife bakes good.
He brings snacks.
He brings them to the meetings.
Also, I would like to make a motion to appoint Simon Bartos as an alternate on the Board of Zoning Appeals for this year. He submitted an application, and he's actually been through the BCA process. He submitted a variance request last year, and said he's more than willing to see wherever he's needed. So I would make a motion to appoint Simon Bartos. I don't think he's here tonight, though. He couldn't make it. As a BZA alternate for 2023.
Does he, what's his background or, other than having gone through, it, I mean, you vetted out what he's done and all.
Sherry looked into his background
Okay.
when he submitted the application.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know him well other than that, other than talking to him a few times.
very religious man.
Yeah.
Did you've talked to him, interviewed him?
Oh, yeah.
And you're comfortable with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'd second the motion based on your recommendation, Chris.
Okay, good. Those in favor say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay.
And finally, I'd like to we brought Tim Kassouf on board last year as an admin assistant. I'd kind of like to have him move to a position where he could support Alice as an assistant zoning inspector or administrative assistant to the zoning inspector, kind of help her out, and also to kind of learn the ropes as a plan B going forward.
Kind of like a zoning inspector trainee type
Yep.
thing?
Zoning inspector in training, yeah.
Okay. I would second that. Well, I'm sorry, before I do that, is that pay-wise?
I wasn't anticipating a change. He
Okay,
was
all right.
at
Just wanna make
$21
sure.
an hour last year, so.
Okay. All right, I would second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. And that was, Tim. Kassouf. Okay, good. All right. Correspondence. We got a couple items. Marty, did you want to go over that one?
Yeah, this was, you guys maybe do or don't remember last year, when our insurance came up, we looked at changing our deductible, going from a family deductible of $5,600 to a family deductible of $8,000. And that was done to reduce our overall premium rate. The risk and gamble is if we had a lot of claims, since the township pays the deductible, we could end up spending a little bit more money. I asked our insurance carrier, Ohio Insurance Services Agency, to give me a summary. I've been kind of tracking as we've gone along, and I thought it was gonna be pretty good. Basically, had we kept the plan in 2022, exactly the same as we had it in 2021, we would have spent an extra $18,721.20. So we saved just under $19,000 by increasing our deductible. None of the claims exceeded the original, or the old level deductible of $5,600 for family or $2,800 for individual. So we could have made it a $10 million deductible, and we still would have had any extra money or any extra expenses for it. Now, you caution that this is, as of right now, there are still, I don't know, I think it's another, maybe it's another 2 weeks, they could still turn claims in for 2022, so that may change a little bit. But basically, we saved upwards of $19,000 for the township by changing our deductibles, and it didn't cost any of the employees an extra nickel. So that was kind of a good thing to do.
Good, good. We did get a correspondence from Steve Demosky, Steve? I'm just gonna talk about your correspondence, so thank you for that. I read, I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll address one thing, but Marty, if you could address like the website and what's, you can read it.
Okay.
But Steve, and I'll let Steve talk a little bit about it, but, well, actually, Steve, you go first, and then I'll address, if you can recall
Okay,
what you said.
my suggestion was that we had discussed at, I think both the December and the January meeting, about how we would get information out as far as when board meetings would be, if an emergency meeting was called, special meetings, things like that. And they went over different things. You can put them on the board that's out in front here. You can put it down at the old town hall on that. My suggestion was, why not use our website since we already have it? We can allow, on a voluntary basis, the residents of the township to give their email address into the system, have a list, put it in, and that way, with just a simple email blast, which wouldn't cost the township anything, I believe, maybe a slight fee on it, you could tell people if a meeting has been changed, if an emergency meeting's up, a special meeting, countywide weather alerts, any type of traffic alerts in the township. I know a couple weeks ago, I just drove up behind an accident that happened at Ryan and 162. And I'm sure by the time the fire department and police got there, that 162 is probably gonna be pretty much blocked off. So send out a blast, avoid that area, let these guys do their work, and try to do that. So, and you can also do, if you wanted to do some Amber Alerts on there, like I said, traffic alerts, weather alerts, special events that the township, like we discussed at the other meetings, in the summertime when you do the movies. Get that out on the website, blast it out so everybody knows about it, maybe more people will show up. But I think if we have that tool anyway, let's use it. That would be my suggestion.
I like that, Steve, and we had talked about that last year, how we would attempt to do that, but I'll let Marty take it over. He was doing more research
Well,
with that.
for as far as putting it on the website, we do try to do that. Now, it's, to be honest, it's tough for things like if there's an accident, to be able to blast that out, because if it's at a time when we don't have anybody in admin, or if we're not made aware of it, it's kind of hard to do. One of the things we did talk about doing though is, and we're gonna do that this year, is when Rick has a road closure for culvert repair, put that on the website, so everybody goes out and can see other townships do it, there's no reason why we can't as well. So one of the projects I took on for this year is working with Sherry, which means Sherry's gonna do most all of it, is to go through and kind of revamp our website and how we're putting things out to people, so we can get better information out to more people.
I think if you had people have a tendency to check their emails a lot more than they do to go to the website. So if you can get the emails of all, they think that would be a pretty good idea, because people will see that automatically now.
One of the concerns, and this one I'm gonna ask Bill to comment on, one of the concerns we had, because we've talked about doing this for a long time. If we gather, like in the meeting here, we say, if you wanna be on an email list, give us your email address, and we can send stuff out to you. If we're using it for township business, there's been a lot back and forth does that now become a public record? And so if Alice now wants to see the database of everybody's email, who sent it in, she can say, give me everybody's email, and now your personal email that you thought just went to the township may be able to go out. Now, like I said, Bill, I know it's gone back and forth. Is there anything super definitive on that if we use it for township business?
Nothing dealing directly with it, but there's some case law out there that indicates that if it's just contact information, it really doesn't deal with the township business, that it is not a public record. So they have, the various agencies have found, courts have found that addresses, that those kind of addresses are not public records.
Okay, so if we
They're just
would,
contact information.
so if we would gather those and then use those to put out, like, says, like an email blast for meeting changes, but use those to blast out for township business, those would not be public records.
The argument would not be there. We have nothing definitive here, but there are
Okay.
cases that say they're not public records.
Okay, so I guess that'd be the only caveat is, you'd say, word something like that when you sign up for it, that we don't think these would be public records, but we can't guarantee you that a court ruling would eventually say they are, and your email address could get blasted out. That would be the biggest concern with that, because you're right, that'd be a great way to do it.
Right,
It'd be a great way to do it.
right, just like, we had a couple weeks ago with the bad weather that blew in.
Mm-hmm.
If there's some kind of countywide weather alert where we're on a, level 1 or level 2 or something of that nature, where you blast it out and people know then we're not to go.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay,
Thanks, Steve, I like that.
okay.
Marty, you're gonna keep on that?
Yes, that is my project. Right, Sherry?
Now, I'll keep checking periodically to see if we
Okay.
get anything definitive in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
7, this is 8. Okay. New business. Yeah, I know.
How do we hit the ones that don't have to do with, well, I guess it's just the first two, and the rest of them all do. This one, this one, this one. I'm just thinking the ones that don't have to do with the ARP money first, and then go back and do those.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, so the new first line item there on new business is fire district. We need to update the EMS fees. The last time they were updated was 2015. So the company that does the billing, LifeForce, gave us some data. Put that off to the side. And so we studied their data, we studied what we're currently charging at the moment, and pretty significant difference. Now, I will add, and I will say it probably a couple times before we're done, this won't cost the residents a nickel at all. And we'll explain why further on as we go, but, and it won't affect any of the Medicare or any of the Medicaid, just anybody else. So you'll hear discussions here. So the first one is called BLS, Basic Life Support. Currently, the township, or the fire district is charging $550. LifeForce suggests that we charge $850, so that's $300 difference, which is pretty doggone substantial. And that's basically what insurance companies are charging, so that's why they're recommending that we raise up to that rate. If you guys want to interrupt, go ahead.
You may want to mention what LifeForce actually is, for folks who don't know.
Yeah, LifeForce is the company that, say, Captain Svetsky comes in from an EMS call, they put in the computer, within the next day, LifeForce will go in there, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, they'll grab that data, the insurance data, and they will grab the billing, however the paramedic put the billing in, and then they will bill that patient insurance.
They basically look at our reports, so every day they'll go into our system, they'll look at our reports, and they'll see, okay, they did basic life support treatment and they bill it at this rate. They did advanced life support treatment, they do it at this rate. There's also an advanced life support 2, which is the really intense calls where somebody's very sick, like we're doing CPR, that sort of thing. And they bill that at a specific rate. So they'll look at all those reports and they'll figure out all the charges and that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. My question is to Chris or Marty, are you thinking anything different than 850 from what Life Force suggests?
No, based on the information actually that was emailed around, looking over the figures, I think they're all reasonable. And again, the key is, regardless of how much it is, residents aren't gonna pay any more money. If your insurance, say Justin pays $300 for an ambulance call, for whatever level ambulance call it is, and we billed out at $800, we still only take $300. The question is insurance rates are starting to allow more and more and more, and how much money is the township leaving on the table that we could be reclaiming to help offset our operating costs? Does that make sense? Or am I just babbling? My wife says I babble a lot, so that's okay.
Well,
Yes.
since you asked, I mean, you said it won't cost anybody anything. If I have a maximum benefit on my plan, and you're now charging more for a service, you're gonna need that. It could potentially, I know it's small, but there are some people that could wind up paying more.
Not residents. All we ever get from the residents is what the insurance is willing to pay.
Right. But what I'm saying is you were charging 300. Now we're gonna charge, is the example 300 to 850?
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, we were,
Currently, it's
So now you're charging up to 850. If I have a limited benefit in my insurance plan, some people have limited benefits. You're now charging that person's insurance $850 instead of $300. That's a $550 increase. Now, I understand that if the insurance only pays X amount, that you're not gonna bill them for the over and above.
Right.
But now that ambulance costs me $550 more against my defined benefit. That's $550 that won't necessarily, now, I know everybody's insurance plan doesn't work that way.
But you're talking about like the overall caps of like $2 million for an overall insurance cap.
Lots of people have smaller caps than that.
Well, I'm just asking.
But I'm
Is
just
that-
saying, there are scenarios where it can cost people more money. I'm not for or against it, I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's a little bit reckless to say it's not gonna cost anybody any more money.
Well, I can't quite see where it is, unless, you know, if you've got something more specific, and maybe I'm missing something. That's happened before. Help me out.
But I just explained it. Some people have a cap on what their insurance plans will cover for a benefit year, a set dollar.
Right.
So anything.
Well, I think everybody has a cap.
Okay, so then anybody that hits their cap in the year, this gets them to their cap faster. That's all I'm saying, is there will
I
be
see what you're
situations
saying.
where some residents will pay more. It's not, again, not weighing
Yeah.
in one way or the other, it's just that it might cost some people more money, that's all.
Do you have any idea, Mike, what it costs us to do a BLS run? Or am I putting you on the spot?
I mean, you have to look at things like, so all of our medications and stuff, those are all provided from United Hospital, so we don't pay for those. Majority of our supplies we get from the hospital. We do buy some one-off things that they don't provide. And then you have to look at things like payroll, you have to look at things like, you know, wear and tear in their vehicles, that sort of thing. So, actually, we were pulled, our agency, Lafayette Fire, was pulled to contribute to the Medicare ground ambulance data collection survey, which Laura and I will be working on here shortly. But we have to submit a bunch of data from 2022. And basically what Medicare is doing is they're taking a look and they're determining all of that. They're anticipating everything to go up. That's why Life Force has recommended that these changes take place.
Because really, we could go higher than these recommended rates. That's the other side of the scale. We could. we're going after the insurance company, basically. And if the insurance company is willing to pay, say, Blue Cross or whoever you might have, Anthem, is willing to pay $900 for a BLS run, then we're cutting ourselves short at charging $850.
About life flight, how does that play into that?
Life flight's a different, and, yeah, they live in different buildings.
Before you get too high, I think I'd wait for the study so you can justify the cost that you're gonna charge.
Oh,
You don't
that
just pay-
study's gonna take a long time. You mean that Medicare's gonna do, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take a
Oh,
while.
that's gonna take,
It's not due
that's
till
gonna be,
May.
I think that's strictly years.
You should have a basis for where you charge,
Yeah.
though. It's not just a figure, you say we're gonna charge 2,000
Well,
because.
but
Right.
that's, I think that's
Yeah.
what Life Force.
Yeah,
put
that's what
together.
Life Force did. They gave us recommended dollar amounts for basic life support, $850, advanced.
Yeah, that's what I found,
yeah,
Chris was saying, go higher, but
Right,
you go
yeah.
higher if you want. If you go higher, I think you're gonna have something to justify that
Okay.
challenge.
And this is all being driven by CMS. They announced something called an ambulance inflation factor for 2023. And they estimated that it would be increasing to 8.7% beginning with January 1, so we're already, 31 days in, past 31 days in. The largest increase in history was back in 2009, and that was at 5%. So they're anticipating an 8.7% increase as well.
All right, yeah, appreciate that. And I'll just continue, the ALS 2, Advanced Life Support Level 2, $1,200, non-transport, $300, and then the mileage changes up to $16. That's Life Force's recommendations.
And Mike, do we, refresh my memory, do we charge for a non-transport now?
So we were up until early 21, I think, and for whatever reason, it was stopped, according to Life Force, is what they told us.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what happened back then, but we were billing for that stuff.
Okay. And again, only for what the insurance would pay? Okay. All right.
Okay. So that's, I broke it up in 3 sections on this resolution. That's the section 1. Section 2 would be to allow Life Force to refer delinquent accounts, those unpaid after 120 days, to a collection agency of our choice without written authority. The reason they do that is because by the time they figure it out and then they send us something and it gets caught back and forth in mail or email, we can just put that on record. If you have unpaid invoices after 120 days, send them to X collection agency. That's section 2. And then section 3 is allows Life Force to write off all residents, co-pays, deductibles, and non-covered services without written authority. Discussion on any of those?
No.
Okay.
Chris?
I don't have any discussion.
Okay.
I would motion to use, increase the BLS, ALS, ALS2, non-transport and mileage cost to the recommended rates by Life Force.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
Okay. Those all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Resolution 7-23 FD, Fire Department.
Wasn't 7?
No, that was 8. I said 7. I meant 8. Oh, thanks, Laura. You were listening.
Oh, my God.
FD, resolution. Okay, awesome. Take care of that. Annual highway system mileage certification. We have to renew for ODOT through the county every year. We did gain a little bit more road last year, 0.175. People are going, where the heck is that? Fairway Landing, took us up to 27.112. Motion to approve this and send it back.
Motion to approve the Ohio Department of Transportation's new mileage certification.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. All right, Ryan Road, boy, we've been talking about this job for a couple of years. Finally let this year, and we actually had a bidder come in low. That came in under the engineer's estimate. Last year, if you remember, it came in high, so the job didn't go. Melway got it for a total of $537,290. This is the joint pavement project with Westfield Center. So Lafayette Township would be responsible for 162 to East Lake, and then Westfield, East Lake to Kennard. After the OPWC money is subtracted, it would cost the township $142,971.12. Westfield would pay their portion of $45,148. Any discussion on that?
No, not for me.
I still get potholes put in front of my house to slow traffic down?
No speed bumps.
I'll take that.
Speed bump, pothole, same thing. All right, was this my 8 here? Okay, motion to approve that?
I would move to approve the resolution approving Ryan Road joint paving project with OPWC funding.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries to resolution 823, Township. All right. Next one's resealing the admin parking lot. The parking lot was paved, I want to say 2 years ago, 18 months, something like that. I had a question of why the heck we sealing it. I don't know as much about asphalt as I do concrete. So concrete, you seal it right away. Asphalt, you gotta wait about a year or two till you come back and seal it. So Most Paving is who did it before, and they quoted us at the end of last winter to recoat it this year. And that quote came into $7,288, and that does include restriping the parking lot. Anything else on that, Rick?
No.
Any discussion on that?
Did you say that does include restriping?
It does,
A little bidder? Rolling bidder.
only because they did the job
Yeah,
before.
Okay.
7,000.
Looks like the line item.
Oh, I'm sorry, that looked like a zero. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I gotta write that down, so 71,
81, 88.
81, 88, I'm sorry about that. So repaving the whole entire parking lot, everything that they did the other year, plus striping, 8,188. My apologies. Any discussion? Thanks, Chris.
I'd make a motion that we approve Most for resealing the lot up at the township admin building. It's 6776 Wedgewood Road.
Oh, second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Motion carries at Most. All right, here's an interesting one. Lions Park Drive paving. So I've been working with this with Bill for quite a few months. We're responsible for that road, and we haven't done anything with it. We haven't done anything with the park other than mow it. There's 6 acres of grass and 9 acres of wooded land. I'd like to try to do something with, make it a community event center or something. But nonetheless, Bill found the agreement. You might have wrote it. 1967.
That was a little early for me.
Anyway, so I had Rick get quotes for Lions Park just to talk about. I mean, we don't have to push it today, but just to get it out in the open. So we had Most Paving quoted, and they quoted it at $25,500, and Melway came in and bid it for $20,880. In my opinion, if we could use ARPA money for Lions Park Drive, I'd like to try to do that, but I know we should probably make a priority list of the ARPA money that we have, the $317,000 and some change.
Yeah, I'd like to go through and lay all these out, because there's several projects. And then there's
Yeah.
also the potential of, I don't know how you want to phrase it, Bill, reallocating or reappropriating some of that money towards potential issues with fire as well. So it wouldn't all just be on the township side.
Can we do that, Marty?
Are we able to
There's,
use ARPA funds for the fire district?
I would have to look at the agreement, I don't know, never looked at it. But if it came to the township now, if it's township money, maybe not.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Because they've already said in other instances, two separate entities, you just can't shift it back and forth.
okay.
Well, let me ask you this, do we want to approve it to be paved, and then before it gets paved, decide where the money's coming
Well,
from?
we kind of have to do it, because we haven't done anything with it, we're supposed to maintain that road, is that correct?
Correct.
Well, then we have to do it. We can figure out what bucket the money's coming out of, but
Right.
it was something we have to do,
Yep.
If we don't take it out of the ARP money, we do have money in road and bridge to cover it.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Chris, anything?
This, just to clarify, this is just for Lion Park. This
Just
is not
Lions
for-
Park right now, I
Okay.
haven't got to the Hunter yet.
No, I agree.
Okay. Someone want to move to approve? Someone?
Is that Melway?
Melway?
All right, I would make a motion that we approve Melway in an amount of $20,880 for road paving for Lions Park Drive.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, okay. Motion carries, Melway gets it. Okay, now, that was Lions Park Drive. Here, let's do this, let's stay on Lions Park. Another project that I've been kind of working on, talking with Bill and Rick, get some quotes. There used to be a pavilion there. I'd like to put another one back there. Of course, I'd like to try to use ARPA money for that. Don't know, we don't have to decide today, obviously. I don't think I have enough quotes yet, but I just I wanted to bring it to the floor to bring it up and talk about it. We had one quote for a 32 by 50 pavilion for $26,800. Just kind of a start to do something with Lions Park. I mean, I'm up for suggestions for sure.
A couple more behind that one if you want.
Yeah, I knew he sent me a couple more, but that was that one. 32 by 50 for 21,000, and then another 22,000. Just like to discuss it and see where people's thoughts are.
I think it'd be nice to be able to put something up back there. My concern is the pictures that Rick set out the other day of the cars down there, turfed it all up, running back through there. That's happened a couple, 3 times that I can remember. I'm just concerned that if we put something up down there, is it just gonna be trashed and vandalized? Because it really is off the beaten path. It isn't like someplace that patrol is gonna drive by on a regular basis. It's kind of tucked away. And it would be great to have, I agree with that, but I'm concerned about spending that kind of money for something that might end up just getting vandalized.
I know. I felt the same way, and Rick and I did talk about that, and we talked about maybe when you're pulling in the road, putting a fence to the, call it the south, give some ample parking there, and then put fence up so no vehicle traffic can go past the fence. Just throwing some ideas out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, you'd want to be able to somehow secure that. Because it would be
Right.
nice to have that.
Right,
It really
right,
would.
right.
I think we'd have to see pricing on all that together as one big package.
Well, we could measure out, Rick, what we need for fencing and kind of go from there. But I mean, he's got a great point. You and I talked about it when you found that, so it's concerning. Nonetheless, I'd still like to do it. 2 cents?
I don't know that it's something that I would want to do without ARPA money, so I think we ought to come up with a priority list.
Yep.
What was the ballpark on that again?
27's the high, I think 21's the low.
All right, but then you're also gonna have to have fencing and a parking area.
Well, yeah,
and all
that's
that
just
kind
the
of thing.
pavilion.
Right,
that
right,
one. Mhm. Right.
okay. All right.
Again, just getting it out on the floor.
Yep.
Okay, we've been talking about a salt bin for quite a while. I know it's been talked about for many, many, many years, actually. I really wanting to push a vote on it tonight, just to at least start to get the architectural drawings set up so we can set it out to bid. We did ask for a quote from a company that does most of them around the area, and it came back at $79,000. So that's over 50, so we have to send it out for bid. And that's okay, it is what it is. But more concerning is the safety aspect of not having one. Kind of ticked me off the other day. Ben and Dave had to go and pull the tarp off the salt to dig under with the loader to get it. Well, there's snow and ice on there, and hey, if someone falls, they're gonna get hurt. And I'm all about safety, so I don't like to see that. And then Rick sent us pictures, and I went and looked. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go look, but where our other salt bin is connected to the building, the wall's starting to bow in. So it's time for a salt bin.
We needed a salt bin for a while. We've talked about that for a while, there just was never extra money laying around. I would think this would be an excellent use for that money.
Yep, I would agree.
I mean, of everything, at least in my opinion, of everything that's on here, it's probably gonna be about the most expensive, but I still think that's the most critical need. So I would have no problem.
All right, Chris?
Yeah, I would motion to solicit bids.
Well, we need to get the drawings first, but once we get those, then we can go ahead and put it out for public bid. Okay, all right.
So is your motion to carry ahead and do that, Chris? To get
Sure.
engineering
Yeah.
drawings done for
Yeah.
bids? All right, I would second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We'll get engineered drawings and get them out to bid and see what comes back.
Now, Rick, you would think to put it pretty much back where the salt pile is now, right? Or are you gonna put it someplace else?
No, back where, back in the, what quarter,
Actually, where the pipe is, and why don't you talk with Alice and see how far back or over property line we can shove that sucker.
Well, you can always put it on the parking lot of.
Where you
Their
park.
septic system is on our property.
Oh, right, gotcha. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see. These are kind of jumbled out of order, but that's okay. So the next one is admin town hall camera and Wi-Fi replacement. Let's do that one first. Well, actually, let me skip over to the one right beside it, town hall roof quotes. I don't have that, but I know, Marty, you talked about last year about redoing the town hall, but we can't do anything inside till we fix the leaky roof.
Right. Right.
So we get a quote, and I'm not sure why this is so hard to get certain contractors to come out and give quotes, but
It's hard to get contractors for anything.
man, it's hard. But we had one quote for the town hall, we'll say 50-some thousand, right, Rick?
about 53.
Yeah, 53, so we're still trying to get more, but
That was to put a normal, like a
yeah,
normal.
truss roof,
Yeah.
Truss roof on it.
metal And then we don't have to do the other two buildings, they're not dire straits, but we can match them up next year, whatever, you know, if we can get some funds, or if we have enough ARPA money left over. I would say ARPA on that one as well, but we need to get enough bids or send it out for bid.
Right. Yeah, I think that's overdue. That's
Yeah.
overdue as well. Rick, once we would get that done, the inside work that needs done, is that something that you think you and your crew can do in slow times and off times, or we need to contract that out as well?
No, we can do whatever.
Okay, all right. Good.
Okay.
We were just discussing that today.
Okay.
Okay, good, good. All right, so the next item is the admin and town hall camera and Wi-Fi replacement, and I'm calling it a replacement because, I don't know, the system's not working right, and I'm not talking about the exit sign cameras. I want to replace, or the peephole cameras. I don't care about those. I want to replace the security cameras and put some of them where they're supposed to be. Laura and I talked about it. There's not one in her office facing that west door, and there's not one in the records room. So I did ask KGC to quote out a system that could at least match that or be better. And of course, it could be better. It would be more secure than what it is now. I know they were pulling up reports that there was some possible people trying to hack into the system, but they couldn't make it through, so maybe some kids or something. But nonetheless, it's time to upgrade that to a more modern camera system, and a little more secure, and put some cameras where they should be. I would definitely want to pursue this KGC quote for $10,285 to do that.
Do we have like an outline layout of where the cameras would be and what they would be able to cover, Ty? I think there was, what, eight
Yeah,
cameras?
he quoted 8 cameras, right. Mhm.
Do we have any idea what the layout would be? And I mean, I'm sure you guys have talked about that, but.
Yeah, no, I talked to him about it, but
Okay.
we haven't pinpointed any particular spots.
How many total cameras are there now?
Well, that's a good question, Chris, because some of them come on, some of them come off. I'm just trying to think, 1, 2, 3, 4 security cameras, I believe. But sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's just not good. I don't like that. We need to upgrade it to,
And this would be roughly twice as many, right? At least.
yeah, oh, yeah, right,
And
right,
these are
right.
gonna be good enough that they're actually useful.
That will be very useful.
All too often you see outside cameras that even the police are trying to pull stuff off of, and you see blurs moving, but you really can't see what's going on, so they really don't do you any good.
That is correct. And I'll add too, the camera system that's there now, that's not working very great, cost, I don't know, 20,000, maybe a little more. And KGC's quote for state-of-the-art modern cameras would be $10,285.
If you could get just a sketch of the layout, that shows you where the coverage is gonna be at.
Mm-hmm, sure. Any other discussion? Any motion?
I would motion to approve this $10,285 quote from KGC.
Second?
I'd like to see where they are. I'm okay
Well,
approving it, but based on where they're at, if we could do that as well. But I
Sure,
would-
yeah,
Based on their location, I'd be okay to approve that.
yep, okay.
So I would second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Motion carries. KGC for $10,285 and submit drawings of camera locations
Mhm.
prior.
Okay.
We can do that. All right, and another one up for discussion. There's 3 lot parcels owned by the township down at Chippewa and Lake. Don't need to vote on it, just trying to get it out on the floor. The service department mows that every week. They gotta load up the trailer, drive down there, unload it, mow it. It ain't a whole lot to mow, but still a lot of time, wasted time for what? We don't use them, so I would just get the discussion going and seeing if we can't sell them. I did talk to Bill. Bill, you want anything you wanna add? I know I've been talking with you about it.
Sale will depend on whether the board can agree unanimously and that type of thing,
Right.
otherwise you have to be listed. or something.
Right. So what Bill said was, the board can decide who they wanna sell it to for how much they wanna sell it to, but it has to be unanimous vote. Other than that, then we would have to put it out for.
And the first repayment has to go to the auditor. I think all three of those were brought in at tax
I was
foreclosure
gonna say,
sale.
those
Yeah.
are all
That money goes
foreclosed.
back. If you get anything over and above what is delinquent, then the money would go to the township.
So anything below, county
The
gets
county gets
shorted?
it. Yeah. Auditor gets it off.
Right.
Goes to the county treasurer.
Okay.
Well, if we sell it, if we were to sell it below what the back tax value is, we're due to pay that difference?
No,
Okay,
now you auction it.
okay. All right. Do we know, I know you had somebody pull that information, you sent that around. Do we have what the back tax values are of those?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Thank you.
Right here. Why Marty's writing those numbers down. Hey, Sherry, can you put that on next month, the 3 parcels? The next road project, like Marty's taking his own notes, is Hunter Drive down in Chippewa areas in pretty bad shape. It's a smaller road. So we did have 2 quotes come in for that. Most Paving quoted 28,700, and Melway came in at 27,900 for Hunter Drive. I would not choose to use ARPA money. It would just be a normal paving project like we would normally do. I will add, though, Melway is going to finish up Main Drive down in Chippewa off of Lake Road. So they gotta finish that. I'm gonna call it a dog leg, the road that runs back to the north off of Main Drive, up to Euclid. Yeah, Euclid. So, not that it means anything about this, but.
Now, who was the low bidder?
Melway.
Melway.
Okay. Would they be doing all that at the same time? So
Well,
it's
that's
all
kind
done
of
at
what was
once?
running through my mind. They'll be here for Ryan Road,
Mhm.
they'll be here for Main Drive. They
Well,
can
that's
do
two
Lions
different
Park.
materials, though.
Hmm?
That's
Yeah.
two different
Yeah, yeah.
materials. The Ryan Road's gonna be hot mix, and the, Hunter Drive will be motor paved.
Discussion, Hunter Drive.
We have to do it anyway, right? I mean, it needs to be-
Well, it needs to be done.
Rick, what's your thoughts on it?
It's gotta get done. It's coming apart. The plow picks up the road's too dry. There's not much oil in it anymore, and the plows are just starting to pick it up.
You said it's how much again?
27,900 is the low bid.
Okay. And we've got enough in road and bridge to do that.
Yes.
And I would, I'd make a motion that we approve Hunter Drive road paving with Melway for 20, don't move your thumb, 27,900.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Melway, Hunter Drive. Okay, so, admin camera. All right, who's the added door code?
That's me.
That's you.
We talked about doing this before, and we didn't, just because it was an expense, we didn't have a lot of money laying around. But it's not a huge expense. If I remember correctly, when we looked at this last time, this is when Warwick was still doing our service stuff. It was in the $5,000 to $6,000 range, I think. But rather than using a key for the town hall door, the town hall's getting real popular to rent. And rather than having to shuttle keys back and forth, Sherry, was it Saturday or was it Sunday morning? Saturday, the people who were renting on Sunday had forgotten to pick up the key. So she got up and schlepped down and met him down there and gave him the key, which was all well and good. But if we could have that set up with a fob system like we use on the doors here, or even just a key punch system, you could turn those codes on and off randomly. So our two fobs, if you had 3 people that wanted to rent the building, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and one on Thursday, you could have their fobs turn on and off at different times, and you wouldn't have to worry about getting one key back before the other's passed out. You don't want to have 2 keys out for the town hall at the same time, because if you're renting it and Allison's coming in afterwards, and she comes in and says, well, it was trashed when I got here, I didn't put that hole in the wall. Well, it eliminates all that kind of issue. So I would like to go out and relook at doing that, and I think that'd be I don't think it's a lot of money, but I think it would be a nice way to do it for down there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so too.
And I'm guessing that probably would be a KGC thing as well.
Yeah, we can certainly ask them to
Okay.
have it quoted out.
And we do both ways with the whole thing is it's gonna have to be something that's easy
Yeah.
to turn on and turn off. So if you could turn on a key code to punch in, turn that on and off quickly, or the fob system, whichever one, but that would be nice. That'd be nice.
Okay.
All right.
Ohio Edison overcharges.
Is that what you talked about earlier?
Yeah, that went back into what you brought up with the new rate system.
Oh, that was, I didn't know what this.
Yep, that was in there as well. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, columbarium.
Richard, you want to give a little history on that? You spent a lot of time, and a lot of effort looking at those. We talked about that for many years doing one, and it just never really gained a whole lot of traction. But putting up one down at Walt Cemetery, just again, nice for the residents. It makes a cremation, kind of quote-unquote burial, much more affordable than doing the whole lot system.
Yeah, we gotta find out how much, how much it would save,
Mhm.
and then we could save the real estate if that's what they propose to do.
Mhm.
Or, we're not saying that if they wanted to have a cremation out into the cemetery somewhere, so be it, if that's what they want to pay for the lot. But if we can do a columbarium and have it a little bit more affordable for the folks that, and we do the indigent,
Mhm.
I mean, you do that for free for the indigent, so, if we can do it a little bit more affordable, I think that would only make sense. But I do have, I have one place that I'm checking with. I couldn't get hold of this week, or the guy that does it, he's gone, he's not gonna be until later this week. So I'll try to get a hold of him and go out and visit with him.
Okay.
And actually see, pick his brain a little bit, see what they charge, see how much their columbarium.
Yeah, let me know so I can travel with you,
See
Rick.
how many spots they have in it. I'm not sure, I don't know,
But before we do that, Chris, Ty, what are your thoughts on doing that?
I think it's a great idea.
because there's a lot of people, that they just don't, they don't have a lot of money, so I get it. You gotta make it a little bit more pleasant for everybody.
Chris,
Yeah,
thoughts?
I agree.
All right, so you guys okay with us pursuing, at least going out and looking after it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say come back with pictures because there's all shapes
Oh,
and
there's
sizes. I
a
mean, it's just a
bazillion different,
bazillion,
yeah.
right, yeah. So get an idea of what type of landscape you want to give up for that,
Challenge would
right?
be, how big do you want to make it? That'd be the first thing, but, okay. All right, Rick, when you get that set up, please let me know, and I'd like to come out with you.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Any old business?
Not for me.
Nope. Okay, good. All right, we're moving right along. Public participation.
I have a question back to,
Karen, can you state your name?
Schoonover. Yeah, Karen Schoonover for the recorders, so you know, when they give me the dictation. I have a question about Marty, when you were talking about the deductibles, that you raised them up.
Mhm.
But then the township covers the full deductible, so basically, there's no deductible cost to the people who have health insurance?
That is correct.
Working at the hospital and paying a deductible, I find that kind of like a slap in the face. I mean, there are most of the people that are here, you know, they have insurance, whether you're Medicare, Medicaid, they're paying a deductible. And I would like to see you guys maybe reconsider, you know, having a small deductible, you know, that would be paid for. I just think the majority of people out there who have insurance have a deductible.
Well, I think we have to sit down with Frank sometime if paperwork's in here
And
this
that's,
year.
that's coming up.
That's coming up.
In May, I believe, for the new plan.
Bring it up to Frank and see what he comes up with.
Okay.
Thanks, Karen.
Sure.
Anybody else?
Hi, Wendy Neal, Medina Fiber.
And Ben Falver with Medina Fiber.
We just wanted to stop by. I know we've recently lit a couple areas, which means several streets in neighborhoods, public neighborhoods. That means they're ready for installation of our symmetrical, high-speed network. Prices guaranteed until 2042, not to go up. Everybody gets their own dedicated fiber line to the home, which means no one else is on it, so there's no lull of any time of any day. When everybody gets home from school and work, it doesn't change speed because you're the only one on it. Most people that don't have the long drops, I know there is some long drops in people on Bryan Road and several others, but the majority of the people that don't have a long drop, there's no installation cost, there's no data cap on any 3 speeds tiers that we offer. No cancellation and no contract with us. If you do have a long drop, if it's more than 300 feet from the road, you can either sign a 2-year contract or pay a small fee to have that run all the way to your house. Also, if it's over 900 feet, there's a different, still 2-year contract, but a little bit more to run that line all the way back to your home. But we just wanted to come here if anybody had any questions about Medina Fiber or what we're doing. Feel free to ask questions. I did bring some brochures if you need them.
What areas are you complete in?
Right now, we just opened up Hooper Drive, Grovewood Lane, Tyndall Lane, Coverdale, Catamere, Villainy, Gray Drive, Kramer Circle, Ivandale, Cantwell, Whitecliff, Whiteman, Bowker, Frith, Fayette Boulevard, Meadowhaven, Chippewa Road, Bittersweet Lane, Ryan Road, Shawnee Trail, Honey Shade, Ford, Birchwood Drive, Shawnee Trail, Ryan Road, Kennard, East Lake Road. Those are the ones that are active right now, and then more to come in June and July throughout this area.
What all is offered? Is it high-speed internet?
We're just high-speed internet provider.
No phone?
We do offer phone if you want it. FirstCom is who our provider is for that.
Okay.
It's $24.99 to port the line through FirstCom. I think their taxes on that ends up being $32.43 a month. But high-speed internet is us, and we've recently paired with Direct DirecTV Stream as a streaming provider. We had some people, Westfield and Seville is where we originally started. Older demographic can't get used to streaming. They want that look and feel of cable, because that's what they're used to. So DirecTV Stream Plus came out with a box that you can purchase through them to help you give that look and feel of cable. So when you turn your TV on, it looks like you're watching cable. The remote control you can actually talk into. It will change your channel, record whatever you want, and do everything, so you don't have to search for stuff.
So by doing that though, then you would be able to offer internet, cable, and phone.
Yeah, we can
All three.
educate you on it, it's not
cable,
through us.
It's not cable in the traditional manner that we think of cable. It's the internet, which is the fiber
Right,
connectivity.
right.
And then it's DirecTV that you can purchase in
Okay.
addition to that. It's just the DirecTV, to Wendy's point, because it's live streaming. You get the Valley Sports, you get your local channels, and it emulates and looks and feels like cable
Okay.
television, but everything's running over our fiber backbone.
Are all the prices for all those different things located on your website?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
right, so
And I have
runs it
brochures here too, 3 different speeds tier.
What is your basic price for?
$49.99 is 250 by 250 speed, so it becomes symmetrical because we're true fiber. Our upload and download speeds are the same, unlike cable and run through coax. You might have a great download, but your upload might be no more than 20. So 3 different tiers, $49.99, $79.99, and our full gig, which is 1,000 by 1,000, is $99.99.
Does that service include Wi-Fi?
Pardon me?
Does that service include Wi-Fi?
That's just for the Wi-Fi.
That is the, yeah, it
That
does
is
include
just
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So in Medina, there's a lot of areas that are not cluster or whatever you want to call them, developments. So are you committed to going all through Lafayette Township?
Yeah, so we're gonna cover Medina County, all of it. I mean, it could take us till 2026, so we're running off the background of Medina County fiber line, so we have to continue our rings, so it has to be done in a way that you keep that connectivity everywhere we're going throughout the state. So that is the reason it runs in certain areas, and then you try to expand into another area.
Everybody needs
LMRE
jump
allows
jets.
us to work off the poles, so we're gonna be able to move out west to that rural area because we don't have to do all the underground. We can actually use the utility poles.
So when are you running all the way down Wedgewood?
That's probably our infrastructure, which is underground. That is our fiber.
Okay, so when you foresee going out into the rural areas?
Well, there's like a scheduled plan, like if you were to go to getmedinafiber.com, and that's our website, and you can actually punch in your address, and it'll bring up a map, and it'll show you where you are and when you should expect service. And if you sign up through that and put your email in, it'll send you notifications as we get closer to your area, so that you'll have a better idea when we'll be getting service.
So it'll tell you whether we can get it or not.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I would definitely suggest signing up, so you'll get like 90, 60, 30-day reminders that are saying our construction process and where we're at and what we're doing, because it's very, very, as you can imagine, complex to put in a fiber network. So, you know, as Steve's well aware of here, it's good to see it from our Frontier days together. I mean, you're putting interduct in, you're doing locates from the townships, the cities, the villages, you're shooting fiber through it, you're splicing, you're doing all kind of construction things to get it to where we can actually deliver it to your home, so that takes time. It takes time to do. The nice thing is, once it's done, it's done, and who's ever served off of that fiberwood, as we call it.
Down for a
they go ahead
township
and
office,
drop
those
it in
people
their
come
house
in,
and then have
that's
it.
down there to pass out?
Absolutely, yes, I will.
Cool. Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
You're saying $125 gets you 400 high speed.
So 250 by 250, the average household, at $49.99 is usually will be sufficient. Because when you're working with that symmetrical speed, you're not used to having that upload at 250 anyway. So it helps that latency or that buffering effect that you're seeing. So that would be $50, and then $34.52 for a phone, and then you have to decide what you're gonna do about the streaming provider, whether you choose to have DirecTV or YouTube TV or Fubo or Hulu. You can go to, on our website, there was a mybundle.com, which you punch in the television channels that you prefer to watch. It sorts through all these streaming providers and tries to come up with who is in your best interest for your streaming provider. It all depends on what kind of TV you choose to watch. So we don't like offer with DirecTV stream, but you pay them, you don't pay us. All we're doing is taking, if you're getting a line ported for your phone, that still runs through Medina Fiber. We have to pay FirstCom for it, but they put that together on your bill. But other than that, your streaming provider would be up to you to choose. Does that make sense?
And we offer streaming 101 classes in our
Yes.
Seville office. Once
So-
a month on a Wednesday for residents and folks that
Good
come in.
plan.
Yeah.
That are not accustomed to doing it. And, you know, what is cutting cord, cutting the cable? What's it look like? What's it feel like? So we demo our streaming with DirecTV. We demo the YouTube streaming and, you know, so it's very, very helpful to actually see it and get the look and feel of what it would be.
And the phone service, you retain your same phone number like
Yes.
anything else?
Yeah, we
Okay.
port the number. We port the
Okay.
number
All
over,
right.
so, yeah.
And so to get to that streaming 101 class, it's usually once a month. We just had one last Wednesday. You can either go to our Facebook page, or you can call the office. On the back of the brochure is Medina Fiber's number if you just want to attend a 101 streaming class. It's no cost to you. And like I said, we basically have 2 TVs to show you how YouTube TV works, how DirecTV Stream Plus works with that cable field. And then it's just a question answer, and we give a production on why and how you should cut the cable.
And we're gonna get a whole bunch of the brochures down at the township office, so if you wanna come down, there's only a few here.
I'll drop some off.
But if you
so
guys
that
wanna
anybody
just stop down, you can pick one up down there. It'll be available.
You said the rates are locked into when?
2042. Yeah. Pardon me? Did I tell them who I? Oh, yeah, so we do have a demo center, I'm sorry about that. If you're familiar in Seville, across from the fire station, or El Patron, the Mexican, we're in that little plaza right there. The demo center's open every day from
Hey,
9
guys.
to 5. On Saturday, on Friday, it's open, Wednesday, it's open till 6. You can always just pop in, the 2 TVs are up, there's always customer service reps in there that can show you how the TVs work or answer any of your questions also.
And,
Yes.
and would it, is this compatible, I know you're always talking DirecTV, but is it compatible like with Spectrum or with, a Dish that's out there? Or it would still be, you could still stream if you have those as your service provider,
You
correct?
can stream with satellite dish,
Okay,
whether it be DirecTV or dish.
okay,
You can stream the YouTube, DirecTV streaming. You could not use Spectrum cable.
right, but you got a streaming service,
Right.
well, you could use,
But
okay,
you
that's.
get Netflix and
Right.
any of the programs and channels that we're used to, the difference between like a Netflix streaming and Amazon Prime and Disney streaming is, that is an on-demand stream. So I go home, my grandkids want to watch Disney. So I put TV on, icons on the bottom, I hit Disney, it brings up, you know, movies, recommended movies and everything. That's on-demand streaming. The streaming live, like DirecTV streaming has, is like having cable channels, where it's live.
Like
So
3,
you get
5, 8,
commercials.
19, everything, it's
Yeah.
just like your,
So
your
you
watch.
get, you get commercials, you get, you know, you get the ESPN, you get the Valleys, you get all those, with it.
I'm right here on Lake Road, and I tried to get YouTube a couple months ago, and it just constantly buffered based on my internet, so I got rid of it.
Well, that's why, whether you can go with us for internet.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that buffering.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Yeah.
you can do this. I mean, it is the best, cleanest, clearest, most uptime connection that you can get. Fiber is, you know, you're talking about cameras and security and locking and unlocking doors. We do that for companies in our sleep all day long because that's what fiber does.
Well, thanks for sharing that information.
Thank you.
Stick around because we'll probably have a couple more public participation. Then we're going to break for executive session. So if someone else has any questions, that would be awesome. Anybody else? Yeah.
Lee from 6570 Balker Road. Wondering if we got anywhere with that issue, any of the issues on Balker actually.
Chris, are you working on that?
Letters are going out tomorrow for the two properties that we spoke of. The one letter was posted, I think.
Anything official?
Oh, haven't heard anything back yet, no. It's gotta be time for them to receive them and review
Because
them.
I know the last letter was unofficial.
Official, by you mean
It
not?
was from the township.
Right.
It wasn't from the courts.
No. Courts have not done anything yet.
Why?
We have to give 30 days or reasonable notice. It hasn't been 30 yet, but it's been a couple weeks.
2 months.
I mean, since we posted the letter, the second attempt letter.
All right. Let's go on to the next question. Because now I've got a porta potty outside my window. And he installed cable this past week, so he ain't moving. All right. Is there an issue with me putting an 8-foot fence up?
You can only put up a 6-foot fence in the township. Anything over 6 foot has to go to the county building department to see whether or not they approve.
That's in city limits, correct?
No, that is the county in the township. You don't need a permit to put up to a 6-foot fence in the rural areas. However, anything over 6 foot has to have the county's approval.
All right.
So-
And that would go through you?
No, that goes through the county.
Through like the engineer?
You go to the building, the county building department. They are the ones that would give the permit.
So you don't put something up that's 30 feet tall and unsafe and falls down and becomes a safety hazard? Is-
Right. 6 feet, in the rural areas, you can put the fence up without a permit. Anything over 6 feet, anywhere in there, has to get a permit from the county. To go to the county building department, and then they will give you or not a permit for anything over 6 feet.
Can I ask, what is the issue of not having them remove that porta potty? I mean,
According to the health department, it's not an issue.
it's according to the health department. Why?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the health department knew exactly who we were calling about. We even talked to the
There's
supervisor
no
over there, and
plumbing,
they
there's no
called him out by
active
name.
plumbing.
That's
You
why,
have to maintain it,
yeah, that's why probably he put a porta potty in, so.
but that's legal in our township.
That's legal everywhere.
It's not permanent.
Any other questions?
Oh, I mean.
No, I was asking,
Okay, I was gonna say.
yeah. Ma'am?
I have two things, Stacy Barrett.
Stacy,
Okay,
yep.
The quick question. I'm sure you've been down 42 by Dollar General, and you've seen how horrible the road is. And it's been that way from day one. Is there any plans when weather breaks that that's gonna be fixed?
I would certainly hope so. They haven't reached out to us. It is very horrible, yeah. I think, and I'm just speculating, but as late in the year, they didn't finish it the way it should be finished, just to get through the winter. And then they went and painted. I can't believe that that would be permanent paint either. It's probably temporary paint, but I'll make a note to try to call them and see if they'll tell me, but it's a contractor that's doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is horrible.
It is. It's ridiculous. And then one of my closest friends, stepdaughter, that lives on Parker Road, and so I made, I buy that property these people have been talking about. It is unbelievable to me that you have to have permission to put up an 8-foot fence when now there is trash all across their driveway. There's a vacuum cleaner, a TV. It is the most unbelievable thing I have ever seen. And I cannot believe that there is nothing that any, and this has been going on and on and on. There was a dumpster there, what did they throw
4
away?
years.
Yeah, what did they throw away when the dumpster was there?
Not a thing.
I mean, it is deplorable. I just cannot believe that somebody
Did you
can't
see the
come in-
tank in the next lot?
Totally out of control.
He's got a chimney, so he can keep warm.
I mean, it's not like this is out on a 100-acre property in the woods where nobody can see it. There are houses all along there that people have to look at it. What if they wanted to sell their house? They're never gonna be able to sell, and they have a beautiful home, beautifully maintained property.
He's sitting right behind him.
I mean, I just don't understand.
I don't own, I own the house next door to him.
Okay, yeah.
I don't own the one down the street with the trash all the way down. That's owned by Paulker himself.
Well, I mean, I just can't believe that this has been going on and on and on and on. Like, should they contact the state, the county? I mean, that can't be healthy for anyone to have that garbage, bags of garbage in the yard.
I know.
What's in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah, me too. But I know Chris and Law Director Bill Thorne's been working on that, and they're following procedures.
Well, isn't it illegal for people just to go there and to dump their trash there? Because that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, you see there was a car sitting in the driveway this morning, right at the end. You can't go in the
They
driveway.
can't, yeah, you can't pull into
Trash
that
all
one.
across
But there's I've seen trucks there, just dumping their stuff. It's like, it's just a landfill for you to go and drop your trash.
I mean, that has got to be illegal to have trash like that. It is, it's becoming a landfill, exactly.
The health department has gone out there and determined that the trash is not a hazard. Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
agree, it
I mean-
looks
It's a
terrible
hazard.
out there.
I mean, it is, I just can't even believe it.
And we are addressing it right now. We
I mean,
have,
you have to drive by just to look at it. I mean, pictures don't do it justice.
Unbelievable.
Hi, I'd like to, Steve Demonsky, 6755 Lake Road. Just want to go back to the one other new business for the 3 lots. I know you're gonna schedule it for next month as well, some information. But maybe if you could include for next month, some information on those lots might help, especially if you're looking to sell it, such as, parcel number or lot, or address number, if there is one. Are they separate parcels? Are they together? How big are the lots? Are there any buildings on those lots? If there are they habitable? Do they have to be raised? Things like that, maybe get an idea of what's going on down there, so if you're looking to sell it, people have a good idea then.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah.
Oh.
Justin Baroli, 5637 Birchwood. Well, I'll start with, the first one is rather disappointed to be left out of the communications piece, given the number of emails that I've sent over the last month that have gone completely ignored. Maybe they were viewed as public records requests that were sent to the wrong place, so I'll go ahead and assume that. But I drafted just a little letter to kind of help. During the month of January 2023, I submitted several requests for public records to various members of the Lafayette Township Board of Trustees and the Administrative Assistant. None of the requests outlined below have been fulfilled completely. In many cases, these requests have not even received any response from the township. Below is a summary of the open requests, and the original communications are attached, and I'll give Laura a copy of this so she can put it in the record. But on January 2nd, 2023, I requested the 2022 year-end financials for the township and for the fire district. Laura did send me what was currently done, but as of yet, the books aren't closed. So I think she's gonna be sending those to me once they're done. On January 4th, following the organizational meeting, I emailed Ty asking for the resolutions, revisions, notes, and communications referenced in the January 2nd meeting. No response. January 17th, I requested the township healthcare policies for 2021 and 2022. That was sent to fiscal, no response. On January 30th, I emailed asking for LTFD training records for a specific event. That was sent to Chris, no response. January 31st, I emailed asking for the meeting minute drafts for 4 meetings. That was sent to admin at Lafayette Township. That one was also completely ignored. So I will go ahead and submit this as my official request for those documents.
Okay.
But
No,
if you
no,
want to
go ahead.
respond, did you want to respond to that? Or
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, I would highly suggest that all public record requests go through fiscal, because she keeps track of it. I mean, if maybe she missed some, whatever, we'll look at that and see what happened there, but, that way we can keep a better track of it.
Sure,
But
she-
Bill, can you, help answer time frame receiving of public records, just to be clear?
Reasonable time based upon the, you know, what it is. If there are no drafts, then there's none to submit. But they all should go through Laura. She's official custodian of the records. It's her responsibility to make sure they go out in a reasonable manner. If you send them to somebody else and they don't let her know,
She's copied on every single one of them.
And I don't know.
Just for point of reference, some of the records, you know, fire department. I highly doubt the fire department makes a copy of every single document that they have and forwards them to Laura. So that's why they were directed to the people that were in charge of those. And while we're on the public records piece, you know, I don't necessarily care because I expect to get a little bit more pushback and harassment, and that's perfectly fine by me. But I stopped into the office to inspect some records during regular business hours. The records were pulled, but then instead of allowing me to see them, one of the trustees was called, Chris was called and consulted on whether or not they could be released, and I was told I had to put the request in writing to Laura in order to get them. Maybe splitting hairs, and if it was something where I was interrupting the day, but when you pull the record and say it's right here, I got exactly what you're looking for, and then you make me do it that way, you know, I think we would both agree that that's not really in the spirit of
there's no
the records.
requirement that you put it in writing. If you wanted to look at the records, though, they do have the right to have somebody there while you're looking at them. Because people,
Absolutely.
unbelievable, have taken things out of the record. Put
No,
stuff in.
absolutely, it was.
But so they didn't have time to do it, but no, there's no requirement that you put it in writing.
I don't think I said in writing, I just said, please ask the fiscal officer.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is when the record that I want is right there, you're.
She
admin's
wasn't
holding
comfortable
it.
doing it. I don't know exactly what's in there. There could be sensitive information. I'm not saying there is, but I don't think it's unreasonable to ask the fiscal officer.
Okay, that's fine.
Every record can be reviewed for that, just that reason.
Understood. But bringing up some of the questions from things that came up tonight, I noticed at the beginning of the meeting, you guys approved the minutes for 12/21 and 1/2. Do we have a status on the minutes for 11/21 and 12/5?
I don't think they're done yet, right, Sherry?
11/21's done.
12/5's done too.
Neither one have been approved or posted.
Yep. Oh, you're right.
Okay, and then going into the appropriations piece, and I'm trying to work off of what you had read. But I believe you stated that you appropriated $165,000 for salaries on the township side of the business? Of the town, for the township salaries?
Oh, let me look. That number sounds right. Let me look. Yeah. No, hold on.
I think that was just from general fund, you said?
Oh, that was for general fund? Yeah, oh, here it is, sorry. Yeah, that was what I came up with, yes.
That's what's been appropriated, is that for the full fiscal year 2023?
Yes.
Do you know what the township salaries were for 21 and 22 by any chance?
Not on me, but I did review them as I was picking these numbers.
So you reviewed those numbers, picked 165. Would you be floored to know that the salaries for 2021 were 295,000? I'm sorry.
Under general?
This is just for the township.
I'm talking about general, the general fund.
So you do salary, that's salary
We
just within the general
did,
fund?
yeah, that, just
Okay.
general, yep. We itemized it.
Retract that question there.
Yep.
The other piece that I had when you were doing that, you were doing allocations and you talked about the budgets for township and for fire. And I think you were, I'll be a little fuzzy on the numbers, but it was like 2.1 on the one and 2.5 million on the other.
That was the certificate from the
Those
county.
particular resources.
Mhm.
What percentage of that have you allocated with your total amount? What percentage of that dollar amount was allocated for this year?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I could do the math, but I didn't address it as a percentage.
Well, the reason I asked is you threw out a 65, you talked about like 65% of the
Yeah.
number from was it 65% of last year's certificate
Well, I
resources?
think Chris was saying something about 65 on something.
I don't remember off the top of my head that whatever amount was appropriated in 2022, about 69%.
Where I'm going with that is, those numbers that you read, 2.4, 2.1, that's where you start this year, plus all of the revenue that's gonna come in. I know I don't have the numbers from Lori yet, but I got the same certificate of resources that you have. So comparing the certificate of resources from January 1st of last year to January 1st of this year, what your balances are, will give us a general idea of whether you saved money or whether you spent money. January 1, 2022, between the two areas, we had 2.4 million, 2,456,435.35. This year, January 1, it's 2,121,093, which means we ran a deficit of $335,000. Any idea how you guys spent $335,000 more than what came in?
Yeah, I'm really not following your math, but if you email that math to me, we can certainly discuss it, but
It's very simple. The certificate of resources.
I understand what you're saying. I'd rather see it on paper and try to understand what you're
So
saying.
you haven't seen the certificate of resources? But that's what I'm asking. We're talking about the certificate of resources that you
Yeah.
talked about to do the budget.
And I'm not gonna be able to memorize every number on it.
It's 2 pages. The total amount of money that you
Okay,
start
so-
the year with is
okay,
kind of
so-
important.
so
That's
get to
probably
the-
the most important
Right,
number.
get to the point that you're trying to make then.
The point is, you guys generated in tax revenue 6.5% more money than the year before. You brought in an extra $50,000 in zoning revenue. So you had at least $150,000 more than was spent the year before, and you still spent $350 more than what came in. You do appropriations where you allocate money to funds, but you do no budgeting.
Justin, I don't know because I didn't look at that number, but does that include the 300,000 that came in from the ARP money that we spent for the Wi-Fi service, the broadband expansion?
If it would have been on the certificate of resources at the beginning of the last year, it would, yeah.
Okay.
But that's still, again, another $50,000. We don't talk about budgeting, we don't talk about any money. Every time you tell us all the money that you're saving, but you're not talking about the fact that it looks like, based on these numbers, that you're running in the red. But you're telling me I'm wrong, so I guess, since it's never been brought up, you're
No,
not
I
coming.
didn't, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say
You're
you
not
were
coming to
wrong.
the taxpayers this year for any money?
I wouldn't even answer that. That's a trick question. I haven't decided anything.
You've done a budget though.
We've approved our permanent appropriations. That's what we did.
You've done a budget. I know, you keep changing the word because you know that permanent appropriations aren't a budget.
We've done what we've done up to this point, so I'm not
So-
sure what you're trying to say.
Well, I'm trying to ask the same question I asked last year when Marty answered the question that you didn't do a budget because Linda Bowers used to always do it and she wasn't a trustee. She's still not a trustee, so is it safe to assume you're not gonna do another budget again this year?
No,
So you're gonna do a budget?
I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Okay. How much money's in the bond building fund?
Let's see, what did we say? Laura, do you have those numbers? I'll have to dig through this whole stack again.
Bond on the fire side is 264,809.
And that money is used exclusively for paying off the bond on the building, correct?
Correct.
And that payment is due when?
December.
It's in December.
December 1st.
So that money sits in that account from now until December, earning how much interest?
It's variable, I don't know, off the top of my head, I don't know.
More or less than the interest that we pay on the building.
Less.
So that money just sits there for 12 months instead of being paid in advance on the building. Why?
I can answer that.
Don't know.
So in theory, it could be paid in advance, or we could wait till the end of the year to pay off. The building's what, it's like $450, I think, 400? The down payment for the year? $395, and a roughly 4%. So $16,000 if we had the money and just sat on it for the year, just for no reason. Something that would probably come up if you did a budget.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I'm Chase Lafayette.
Oh, Chase, yep, go ahead.
So, Chris, in regards to the comment you made to me, I'm assuming in response to correspondence, does that mean that the email that I shared with you has just laid dormant?
No.
You haven't spoken with anybody about it?
Spoke with Bill about it, just have not drafted a response yet, and
Okay.
I was apologizing to you. That's where it stands.
No, that's fine, and I'll apologize for the comment, but I just would have to point out for the record that my wife and I have emailed several times, obviously, and the majority of the time the correspondence is unanswered. And I just heard Justin kind of say the same thing. And I heard this resident down here on Parker Road asking, the same questions. And I feel that in a lot of these meetings, the tone that is set, in my opinion, is that you're working not for us as township residents, but kind of against us. And that's frustrating. I just want one more time, because I think there's quicker ways things could be handled if our approach with the residents was a little different. And I really truly feel that way, and I just kind of want that to be mentioned, that, I think case in point here is this guy seems to be really good with numbers. Instead of arguing with that person, in my opinion, I think I would try to utilize that energy he has in a positive way, right? Manipulate it in your favor. I just think that would get you guys a lot further. I really truly feel that way.
Thanks, Chase. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, if I could, I got a little heated there on the financials, and I almost forgot, so I guess I should give you guys a little slack for getting to. We haven't had a fire chief for 2 months. Are we gonna post an interview for a new fire chief, or are we just gonna give it to?
Chris is the
Assistant Chief?
liaison. We'll
We
let
are
him talk.
looking into that right now, as we speak.
Looking into deciding whether or not you're gonna interview for a chief, or,
We're evaluating what options we have right now.
but you haven't posted?
Nope, we have
the
not
job
posted
opening.
yet. We have not.
So then before I finish, if I could just get like a guesstimated timeline on a response. Sorry. It's been 4 weeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the second week of January.
Okay.
I apologize, I let it go. I mean,
No, it's totally cool.
it slipped my mind.
There's been a lot of the correspondence, though, that I've asked with very much a lot of it is not necessarily time sensitive, but very counterproductive when nothing's done, and I think as a township resident, it's just very disheartening to see months upon months get past, right? So now I'm gonna go home, right, and I'm gonna wait 30 days potentially till the next meeting. I'm just expressing my frustration. You can get as,
I get
I'm
it.
just trying to make you
Yeah, I will
close to
contact
as
you.
frustrated as I've been
I will
sitting at this side
contact
of the table, that's all. So I appreciate you entertaining me there, thank you.
Happy to oblige.
All right.
All right, thanks, Chase. Anybody else? All right, so we're gonna break for executive session pursuant to ORC 121-22 G1, promotion, discipline, hiring, and firing, and possibly G3 for property sale. We'll roll call vote to go into executive session.
Motion first.
Oh, how about a motion?
I motion to
All right.
go into executive session.
I would second the motion.
Yep. All right, all those in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
I said roll call vote.
O'Neill, yes.
Warcola, yes.
Fullerton, yes. Sorry about that. Like I said, 121-22 G1 and possibly G3. Time is 8:59.
You inviting anybody else in?
Yeah, I will invite in Law Director and Fiscal Officer. Time is 8:59. Thanks, Sharon. All right, back out of executive session, no decisions were made. It's 10:55, way too late. Like I said, no decisions were made. Make the motion to.
I would make a motion to pay the warrants of the township and adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right,
Hey, Barbara, do we get paid for?
meeting's adjourned.
Meetings?
It's the thrill of being here and seeing us. It's all the pay we need.
Worth any money that wasn't used to go back and